Welcome back to Horticulture Geek. Let's plant a tree in a pot. Welcome back to Horticulture Geek. I'm so glad you're joining me today. I'm Ray and welcome to my garden. Today we are going to be planting a Japanese maple into a container. And I thought I would bring you guys along to see how that goes and see where I'm putting it in the garden. So let's move over there and I will show you what we're working with and where it's going. Come on. Okay, so here we have the pot and we're in the back corner of the yard, so you can kind of see. I did have to put an umbrella up for shade to get this shot, so that's what that is. So I picked up this pot. I've got my biotone, I've got my potting mix, and I've got my tree. Let's go over here and look at this tree a little more closely. And my kids are swimming in the pool already, so you might hear some jumping and splashing. Okay, so this is a Tamakayama, however you say that, Japanese maple. I bought it at Lumber One. You can see it was $89.99. That's what I paid for it. And let's just flip the camera around. Okay, you guys. So $89.99 is a really good price for this Japanese maple. It is in a 3-gallon container. It already has some good height on it, and it's just a nice looking tree. I have been pricing these out for a while. I knew I wanted a Japanese maple in this back corner for a while, and I just couldn't find the right one that I wanted. And there is several local garden centers around here that carry them. And as a matter of fact, I found a green variety, just like this variety, but the green color, in a 5-gallon pot at a garden center right up the street from my house. And it was $349. So when I saw this one at the Lumber One, now the Lumber One is a little Lumber One home center, like wood and home products, but they have a garden center. It's in Mayflower, Arkansas. It's very reasonably close to my house. It's probably like a 25 minute drive for me. I mean, not too bad. The garden center that's up the street is like a 5-minute drive from my house. And so $350 or $89.99. So I was super excited when I found this tree at this price. That garden center, and I've done a garden center tour of that garden center before. So if you look back through some of my older videos, if you're local or just interested, I do have a garden center tour of the Lumber One Garden Center. Love it, it's one of my favorites. So that's the explanation on the tree, because it's a great price. I know it seems a little expensive, but it's a great price. So let's flip the camera back around and get back into this project. All right, so this tree is hardy from zones 5 to 8. It grows 4 to 8 feet tall and 8 to 10 feet wide, but it is an incredibly slow grower. So it will live comfortably in this pot for quite a while. And now if you're looking at this tree, you may notice something a little fun about it. So it does have a weeping habit. The branches do curl down and weep. And this is a lace leaf maple. Look at that texture. So it's really pretty. It holds this color all year long. And so this is going to provide me color, texture, and interest in this corner, which I feel like it has been needing for a while. All right, let's look at the pot. Now, if you've been following my channel for a while, you know I am a huge fan of Ollie's discount store. This beautiful pot, it's a glazed terracotta, came from Ollie's, and it was, well, that's right, $29.99. So you cannot beat the prices on the pots from Ollie's. And you'll notice I've already got a drip tube running through the pot. so that I can hook this tree up to the irrigation system, and that way I will not have to hand water it every day once I get it hooked up. It's not hooked up yet, the lines just run there for it. And then I'm going to be using my potting soil from Sam's Club, the Members Mark. It is $8.98 a bag, which is an incredibly huge savings from the other brands that you can get out there. And so if you are gardening on a bulk situation like I do, you're filling up lots of pots and containers, you got to look for discounts everywhere you can. Members Mark potting soil is a way to go. And of course, I will also be using the organic Biotone starter. So I'm going to set the camera up and we are going to get this plant into its new home. Here we go. So all I did there is I put a few inches of the good potting soil in. And if you notice, I did have some cheap soil on the bottom of that pot, just because it's a big pot and I didn't want to fill it all the way full with the light, fluffy potting mix. It's big enough that it could handle a heavier, cheaper soil at the bottom, which will help weight it down as well, because this is going to be kind of top heavy if there's a big wind. So I did put a little bit of a heavier soil on the bottom. There's a huge drain hole in the bottom of this pot. I mean, it's a good sized diameter hole, so drainage won't be an issue. So anyway, I put a few inches of the good potting soil and I went ahead and put a good handful of the Biotone in there and I mixed that in. Now I'm gonna set the root ball in and then I'll continue filling up with soil. That way there's Biotone all up and down this pot so that the roots of this tree can branch out and get the nutrients they need. Otherwise, if you did it at the end, you would just have the fertilizer on the top, inch of your pot, and your roots would kind of want to go up to it. And I want my roots to spread out and enjoy the room that they're going to have in this pot. So it's important to mix that fertilizer throughout the pot for the tree. You can see this tree has some really good roots on it. They're not too root bound. I may tease them a little bit. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now to fill up the rest of this pot is I just went and got a empty old bucket, just any old bucket, and I'm going to put my potting soil in here, and I'm gonna add my Biotone in here, mix it up real good, and then I can spoon the dirt in around that plant nice and evenly. That way, again, like I said, I'm getting a good fertilized mix all the way around that plant, and I'm not trying to manhandle a bag up next to the branches of that tree. So I'm gonna work on that. All right, so there it is. I've got it potted, I've got it fertilized, I've got it watered in. I hosed off all the mess I made on the concrete. So let me turn the camera back around and show you our finished product. So here it is, and I will come in and take the tags off. You can see that sun coming in right here. It's brutal. That's why I had to put that umbrella up. But look at this, how the leaves drape down the sides of the pot. And you can see this right here, how the leaves come out green and then they turn that pretty red color, and it just, wow, it just looks so good against that blue pot. Ignore that, that's a hydrangea that did not want to come back. So I'm giving it a fighting chance, but we may be replacing that. It's got some green left on it. But there it is. So I've got some hostas. These are 2-year-old giant hostas. It usually takes those about 3 to 4 years to get their full size, but these will put on some size this year. This is a standard hosta here. That's a baby hosta I just planted there. It will get some size this year. And so if I step back, you can start to see how this area will come together eventually. So I am just looking forward to that. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this quick video. So if you've ever wondered if you could plant a tree in a pot, absolutely you can. Now if you plant a tree that's a fast grower in a pot, you're not gonna be able to leave it there for more than probably a season or 2. But this, a slow growing species like this, I mean, this is just a specimen tree, something to look at, something that's pretty. It's gonna be able to stay in this pot for years. I should probably be able to get 6, 7, 8 years out of this thing if I wanted. So I'm excited about it. And I mean, for a $29.99 pot, you can't beat that. And I think it really completes this area. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Maybe this has inspired you to go out to your local garden center and look for something fun to plant to fill a spot in your garden. If you've never shopped at Ollie's before, Google it. If there's one near you, go. They have amazing stuff. And other than that, give me a thumbs up if you liked this video. Let me know if you have any questions below. And other than that, guys, from my garden to yours, I wish you all the best and happy gardening.